Southern Scene is dedicated to help better our community, as you know. We like to bring people together who can help each other do that. Well, Joe McNamee with Absolute Investment Group in Port Wentworth is a self-made businessman dealing in real estate. Now, he's seen many people struggle financially in the past, especially when it comes to buying a home. And we're so happy to have Joe with us today. It's always great to see you here on the Southern Scene. Now, Joe, let's talk about Absolute Investment Group. For some of our viewers who may not be familiar with Absolute Investment Group, tell me what that is.
Well, it's a company that I created years ago that helps people with their problems. They've got problems with trying to sell their houses or properties for that matter, or they're trying to buy a property. So this is one of the main things that I like to talk about is the buyers who are having problems. They're being embarrassed and humiliated by the system out there. 2008 is when the banking industry kind of fell apart, where banks are having a hard time writing checks like they used to. So 2007, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
So let's talk about it, because you want to focus on the buying, because there are many aspects of this. And in today's show, we're going to focus on buying a home. There are a lot of people who, dream of having that home, but they run into bad luck. And as you said, the housing market as it was. How can you help those folks obtain a home?
Well, see, they're walking into these places to qualify, try to qualify to buy a home, and they're being rejected, for reasons that don't matter to us.
Now, are you talking about financial institutions and that type of?
So for us, our buyers get into a home within hours or a few days, depending on the situation.
Now, Joe, how is that possible?
Well, what we do is we focus on terms. So our buyers are communicating with us and giving us an idea of what they have to work with as far as a down payment, a monthly payment, and then what their total monthly income is. We don't care if it's only been 6 months. We focus on those terms, and we're looking for what it is they can afford and where they want to be and what they want to be in. So we focus on that, which solves a lot of the red tape issues out there in the conventional wisdom world.
It's almost like matching that particular customer with something that they can handle comfortably.
We help them be able to own a home on much better terms. And it's not just a house. It could be raw land. It can be a commercial complex, an industrial complex. It doesn't matter the type of real estate that it is. But most of our buyers are buyers of individual houses.
What are you seeing as some of the obstacles with folks that are trying to purchase homes these days?
Well, I mean, now don't think that these are people with bad credit. I mean, I have people come in with an 800 plus credit score, same issues happen. The banking industry has a market that they sell off their notes to. When they sell off their loans and free up capital to lend to new potential buyers coming in, that gives them the liquid capability of doing that. Well, that secondary market's what's been going away for the past 5 years. So there's not as many places to sell off those loans as they used to have. So the bank now has very limited funds in lending, and plus there's a lot stricter guidelines, requirements from Uncle Sam on top of them. So they have to follow those too, which takes a typically qualifying for a loan from a bank was less than 30 days. Now it's 3 to 6 months trying to get that loan approved. Well, we created a program called the Secret Buyers Program, where we have buyers that apply for a loan through us where we don't know who they are, we don't know any of their personal information, we just know where they want to live, what they want to live in, what they have to work with down a month, and how much they make. Period.
And you learn about that in an interview process or that type of thing?
They go to our website and they see that on the website. That's absoluteinvestmentgroup.net. They go to that website and they see that secret application. But we saw over and over again people coming into our office who were in tears with what we were able to do for them. And it was like pretty soon I was sort of wondering, how many people are out there that think that I'm a regular conventional wisdom organization and never try because they're afraid of being embarrassed and humiliated again? So we created a way where they can be completely subdued, apply, find out if they can qualify for one of our loans through our system, and then after that, then we have to communicate with them directly. But they can find out up front with no one knowing them.
Now, what about, how does this play into the tax, tax incentives and things like that if you choose something like this?
Well, again, people aren't able to qualify like they used to be able to to buy a home. So now they're being forced into these maybe less than desirable neighborhoods. They're financially forced into renting. Well, what kind of a tax write-off does a person renting a house or an apartment get? Nothing.
Absolutely.
So they have to be able to own a house. They've got to have the deed in their name to be able to get the tax write-off. It also changes their world when they're applying for other types of loans by being a home owner instead of just a renter.
Well, it's so interesting, and Joe, obviously you're seeing this process work, and you've been able to help quite a few people out there. You've been doing this a long time. Why is this so important to you?
Well, it's kind of a passion of mine. I mean, I have different things that I look at. If I have figured out a long time ago that if you can do something that you love and earn an income from it, I mean, we're not a charity organization. We make money doing what we do. But if I can make it better for the buyer, better for the seller, better for other people learning how to do this from me, if I can do all that and still earn a decent living off of it, then how does it get any better than that? Tell me what's better than that.
Well, that's exactly right, and it certainly gives you something to think about, and I can tell you're very passionate about this, and we're going to be talking to you about buying and selling and finding out even more about Absolute Investment Group on the Southern Scene as we progress forward. We want to thank you for joining us today. It's always great to see you.
I'm so happy to be here. I've enjoyed this greatly.
This is great information, and if you want more, well, you're in luck. Stay with WSAV, and when the Southern Scene is over at 12:30, now Joe will be back with an entire half hour about how Absolute Investment Group can help you experience the American dream of home ownership, or show you how to get your next house on much better terms. Okay, we packed a lot into the show, but we can still pack more. So let's take a look at what's happening on the local scene.
If you have a message or story idea, go to our Facebook page, The Southern Scene, or WSAV.com.
As I always say, there's nothing like our scene of the day here on the Southern Scene. Okay, that's going to wrap it up for us. I hope you've enjoyed today's show. Now remember, you can see the Southern Scene every day now, right here on WSAV, weekdays at noon. And if you have a story idea for us, or would like to send us a message or scene of the day, well, find us on Facebook, The Southern Scene, or you can always go to WSAV.com and click on our Southern Scene page. And as always, keep your eyes open, because our cameras are always out and about, and you never know when you might be seen on the Southern Scene. See you next time.